What is up, bro?
There he is. How
Thought
you
you
doing,
stood
man?
me up, bro.
No, never, never, never,
What
never.
happened?
Sorry, dude. Phone died, running errands, things just ran away from me. Since 1998, we have not worked together. That's messed up. That's
Well, I
messed up.
mean, we've both been doing things, and we've both been growing and
It's also true.
having a
Making
family and
babies,
stuff like that.
yeah, growing the family and all that
Yeah.
good stuff.
So let me
Yeah.
introduce you. Guys, if you're just joining us, please welcome to Upfront with Caz. My name is Caz Abrams. You haven't seen me for a while, probably. I've been undercover studying, and now we're back. We're back at a time when I think it's time for us to come back. And I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, for me personally, one of South Africa's best, greatest, most passionate actors. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine. I think he's definitely one of the breed that's going to represent us like the way John Carney and other guys did in the past. Please welcome Hlomla Dandala.
You try and
So
take away from us.
basically,
Yeah.
everyone has been through some form of struggle, and right now a lot of people at home, they don't know what's going to happen next. Some people are losing jobs. Some people don't have that natural resilience to bounce back. A lot of people are stressing. A lot of people don't. Their faith is a bit shaken.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to different people that are inspirational, not only to me, but to a lot of other people. And just chat about your own different struggles along the way and where you're at right now. But first of all, let's go back to the beginning. You started off very young. We both started off as youngsters.
God.
When was that first moment where you thought, I want to get into this acting game, this entertainment game?
Dude, I don't think there's ever been anything else. I must have been easily 6, 7 years old when I did my first play. One of those church Sunday school kind of things, and you get stuck in that. And you don't know at the time that actually this is an industry. You're just doing it because you're just constantly being drawn into this, and you're doing plays, and you're in theater groups, and you're really, really active, and you're waking up and you're walking ridiculous miles to make it to a theater group, and you're begging your parents, please take me to such and such a place. I was in grade 3, maybe grade 4, standard 2 back in the day, when I put together my first play. Where I grabbed a couple of guys and said, "Hey, listen, let's put together a play, and then we're gonna go in and show it at the last day of school." And, so you get stuck in it, and it becomes the rhythm, and you just make that commitment. And then much later on, I think I was maybe in high school. In fact, it was in 1987, 88, where I had a drama team, my English teacher actually, who also had done drama and ended up being my drama teacher, was the one who then said, "Hey, listen, you could do this professionally," and got me to my first audition, landed my first audition, and that was it. Never looked back. And
What
so,
was your what was that first audition? Do you remember what it was for?
oh God, it was called Moving On. It was a bunch of teenagers who used to get together and have this clubhouse, and they'd have all sorts of adventures and then discuss them and unpack them and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that must have been 1987, 87. December 87 for school holidays. I ended up doing that. And then from then on, all my major school holidays, I was either winter school holidays, I would find a production and go and work as a crew member. So everything from grips to swinging boom to whatever I could get my hands on. And then December holidays, I would be in front of the screen. And so I grew up doing both and giving equal value to both.
Did you know anyone in the industry? Did anyone open the doors, or was it just a matter of joining an agency? What pathway did you take?
No, no, I didn't join an agency for years. Um, the first job I got was because my drama school teacher put me in there. And then from then on, I would speak to people, the crew guys, and just go, "Hey, listen, I'm going to phone you up. school holidays, I will come and work for free if I have to, but I want to come and spend time here. Or I would speak to directors. You'd have a group of directors, and I'd say, and writers, if you're doing a thing, please keep me in mind. Please keep me in mind. And you would phone. I would phone every month. I'd make it, a thing that I would either go and visit their office and just go and chill. Hey, how's it going? Just came to say what's up. Brought you a book. Oh, you have a really nice book. Take their book, because then if you borrow their book, they have to keep in contact with you because you have to bring it back. So it keeps you in the loop. You know what I mean? So whatever you could, just to keep yourself top of mind. Keep yourself top of mind. And that got me literally from most of my high school. I was working both holidays. I would work winter holidays, summer holidays, winter holidays, summer holidays. And that basically paid for a nice chunk of my high school and paid for my varsity as well.
Wow. So if anyone's just joining us, welcome to Upfront with Caz. You probably haven't seen the two of us together since Channel O days. I'm Caz Abrams. Been out of the limelight for a while, just studying behind the scenes. It's time to step back, and I obviously wanted to step back with something that was close to my heart. And everything's about strength out of struggle, telling stories and finding ways to empower people and really be passionate. As you heard Hlomla talk about how he started in his career. Bro, but you know what the thing is? We're in a space right now where it is about authenticity. Yes. People want the real thing. So whether we are behind fancy makeup, like when we were young, it was all about the image. It was about being famous. I remember me. I was super metrosexual.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Oh my God.
Nowadays it's about keeping it straight.
We all start somewhere, guys. And I'm just so glad that I've grown up and now we can have this conversation man to man. So we were talking about your journey and how you'd hustle when you first got a taste of the industry. Because I remember seeing you, the first time I saw you, you were in a commercial.
Oh gosh.
It was for Pick and Pay or Checkers or something. You behind the till.
Oh yeah. Oh God. That was in 1990. No, 91. I want to enter Win and Spin.
Yes.
I can't even remember. I think it was a lotto ad or something like that, where I was doing all these different accents about the different people who want to enter Win and Spin. Hello, I want to enter Win and Spin. Hello, yo, chap. I'd like to enter Win and Spin. Yo, what's up, man? I'm trying to enter. It was one of those. I can't remember what the tagline. Oh my gosh, you're taking us back now.
But I remember this. You see, when you want to do something, you also are a student of it. So you're watching other people. So I was also hustling. I was going from agent to agent.
Absolutely.
Get me any job. Just give me a line. When I would get an advert, I'd be that cat to be like, I'll do whatever you want to. The guy would be like, okay, so we need someone to hop off the fire hydrant. We're going to blow the fire hydrant.
I'll do that.
I was like, I got that. I got you.
Yeah.
How high do you want me to jump? How high?
That's it. And it's that thing. You've got to stay hungry. You've got to stay hungry all the time. Even now. And people act like, oh, no, look, you've got years and years of experience. Things come to you. You go, no. I still have goals. I have things I haven't achieved that I'm trying to achieve, and I'm hungry to get those things done. You've just got to stay hungry all the time. All the time. That's really the truth.
Which actors inspired you? Because I was inspired by all method actors, and that's what's hindered my viewership in the industry, in that I wouldn't just take any job, because I grew up with the Stanislavski theories, and method acting was always my thing. So I was always looking for those parts. But unfortunately, as South African actors, you always get maybe a couple of lines in a B-grade movie, and sometimes it just kills you. How have you managed? What inspired you, first of all, and how do you keep that energy going?
I walked a tightrope in the sense that, on the one hand, I had my eye on the States in terms of what was being done in the States, because, that is the biggest industry there. But I also had my eye here in terms of what's being achieved here. So in one sense, I was like, look, I know what my competition is. I'm not competing with the guys overseas. I'm competing with the guys in front of me. So I need to be the best person in the room. At any one time, I've got to be the best person in the room. If I'm better than I don't know, Will Smith, but I'm third best in the room, I lose the job. But if Will Smith is beating my ass left sideways, but I'm the best person in the room, I'm getting the job.
Yeah.
And so that was always my thing. So there were a couple of guys locally, you know, I was always watching things like, I was watching what someone like John Kani was doing all the time. I went to every single thing that he did. Because he's been Dr. John Kani forever and ever. I was watching young guys who were achieving, and I use young relatively. So young guys for their generation, but there were generations ahead of me. So there were the Slomakis, there were the Eric Mienis, you know, the guys where I was like, that's the kind of slot I want to play in. And so you go, okay, this is what these guys are achieving. What are they not achieving? What can I offer? And
is the space.
I mean, and so part of that was to say then, well, let's look around. If the industry is choosing people like Bosillo to lead generations and Desmond Dubes to lead, I forget the show now that he used to do, which was very popular. So those were the guys that were ahead of me. And so you go, well, then what can I do that they can't do? How am I going to get that attention away from them to me? Or not away from them, but what is it that I can do to also get some of that limelight? And then you're spoiled for choice, because then you start saying, well, what are they doing in the States that they're not doing here? And then you look at some of the guys there and you say, what are they doing in Japan, in Korea, in England, in Australia, and all of those places? What can I learn from all of those guys that they're not doing here? So when I get the camera on me, I'm suddenly doing something that nobody else is doing. And part of that was about speaking like this. Before our generation, Caz, there was no one who's speaking like this. The coolest guys were the Metro FM guys, you know, and they spoke in a very Wilson being course. It was the Bob Mabenas. Do you know what I mean? It was the Bob Mabenas. It was the radio guys. Those guys were at the cutting edge of what is cool. And so it was, well, let me take that cool and translate it into acting. So whatever role I get, I'm going to put a little spin to it. So things like Istingo. I was just supposed to be some young boy who's coming in to upset the mind a little bit and then leave. So my story was supposed to be a 3-week story on Istingo. And I then went, well, no, hang on, I can put a spin on this. I can put something cool to it. He's going to speak a certain way. I'm not going to cut my hair. Yes, I know that there are no managers who are doing that at the moment, but I'm going to do it because I think it's cool. And so suddenly characters started becoming cool, and that immediately gave the crossover appeal. And after that, that became the rhythm then. Find something new, find something new, find something new. Always, always. So which means you need to know what's happening here, but you also know you need to know what's available globally.
Yeah. So on Isidingo, let's say that was your first sort of meaty part that ended up paying some bills. Because as an artist, as you know, we've always
you work to do a bunch of different things, and then you get one role, and that becomes the beginning of your career.
So obviously, when you got that 3-week part, you were like, I'm going to play the socks off this part so that they feel me.
Literally.
When at one point did they come to you and say to you, we're looking at developing this role further? What is that moment like, and how did you respond to that?
It was strange because I didn't even realize what was happening at the time. I knew that, and at the time I was watching a lot of Brad Pitt stuff. You know, he was doing Seven, he was doing Legends of the Fall, he was doing that kind of stuff, and just the passion, the grit that he was bringing to his roles. And I was like, I want to do this. This I really want to do in my thing. And so we did this 3 weeks, and the next batch of scripts, I didn't even bother reading because I knew that my role was done. And I got called up to the office and someone said, Hlomla, you're not reading your scripts. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not supposed to. No, there's a whole story arc for you. Oh, crap. Okay. So I get all these scripts. And then I remember, oh gosh, Des, her name was? She used to do all the promotions for Istingo, and she came to me and said, "You don't realize it yet, but we're going to make you a big, big star."
Oh, wow.
And I went, "All right." And then, and
Yeah,
literally that was my response. Okay, because I didn't know what that was. If you think back in the mid '90s, we didn't have crossover stars. You were either for the black community or the colored community or the white community, but we certainly in acting, we didn't have stars who could go across. So I know in music, for instance, what's his name? Galagata was one of the first big crossover stars. Yeah, he suddenly was a big crossover in music. And then TKZ also started getting in on that. And they became big crossover. Prior to that...
Hlomla, remember, this all happened about the time when Channel O launched. And they were
Correct.
brave. Because they took, how many of us? It was 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah, it was 6 guys and 6 girls.
And so they said to us, which was cool, they got us into training. They got us this coach. Remember our first coach?
Yeah.
And she said something to us on day one. She says, "I want you to tell me what your show is called." Like, remember Bongani from Carte Blanche? She's like, Bongani likes jazz. So, Bongani, if you jazz, what's the essence behind it? So he's like, "I want to smooth you. Caz, you this. Candy, you this." And
I remember that so well, yeah.
What is amazing, though, is I remember at one point looking to my left and to my right, and I was like, wow, there's that guy from that TV commercial from behind the till.
Oh, my goodness.
And then Tim was there. Remember Tim with the dread?
Yeah. And
there's
Tim had
cool
been doing a
guy.
lot of work at the time. Tim had been doing, like, Tim was like the king of cool, because he had been doing... He had been doing a bunch of stuff at the time.
He started on TV earlier.
Yeah.
What is cool is we got the opportunity to work together and we became a family, right?
Correct.
Because we'd go on these workshops, we'd film our episodes like on a Monday. And that was like the beginning of it, because Channel O was the first like music channel that was launched from Africa.
Correct.
And then we went on to SABC, we crossed over, then a few of us started getting other shows.
Yeah.
Remember? You got Dingo, I got the game show.
Yeah, because it started growing us as brands. But we didn't even have those kind of words back then. I mean,
you know what a brand was, bro?
No, we didn't. Can you imagine if we had social media back then? It would have been crazy.
At that point, was there a moment, any point there where you felt like giving up, where, you know what I'm saying? Maybe before Dingo kicked in, was there a moment where you felt like, I don't know what I'm doing here? And if so, what changed your mind? What gave you that inspiration just to keep on going?
It was interesting because for me, it wasn't about giving up so much as I don't know what the next step is.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine myself being in any other industry, as is still the case. You know, this is the industry I've known for pretty much all of my life. I literally cannot imagine myself being in any other industry. But there've been moments where I felt like the industry has no place for me anymore. So just after and now remember back then there was something called an anti-star memo, which basically said if you had become big enough, they would say you're exposed and you couldn't get work anymore.
Well, that's what happened to some of us on SABC.
Correct.
Because what happened was they said, you become overexposed, and then what happened is, with me, for example, I was shortlisted for 50 jobs after my game show Big Bucks Bonanza.
And they still wouldn't give you any?
No, so what happened is the lotto came straight after, and it was out of Nimrod and myself to do the lotto. And then the thing was, but everyone knows him from Big Bucks. So they suggested, take a bit of time off. But dude, everywhere I'd go, still people would recognize me.
You see, I don't understand that. And it tells you something about the way the industry used to work back then. Yeah. And I think now it's really starting to change where fame is not the enemy. So now productions, channels are starting to learn how to use people's popularity as leverage, correct? And really leverage that to get more viewerships, etc., etc. Back then, it wasn't the case at all. So I would do, after Istingo, for instance, I knew that if I stayed much longer on Istingo, I would never have been able to leave. And so I went to them and said, please make this my last year. And I remember, because we did Istingo 98, we did Istingo 99. At the end of 99, I went, that's it. I shan't be doing any more. Please, can I not do any more? And they were, no. We're going to keep you for one more year. And at the end of 2000, maybe you can then consider leaving. So I went, okay, fine. But then if I'm doing that, then you need to put me as a young director, which they agreed to gracefully. And so started cutting my teeth and soap direct. Was an incredibly smart move. But after that, because thinking now, okay, there's popularity, but I can't be popular as Derek Nyati. I need to be popular as Hlomla Dandala. And so I'm thinking, okay, with all this popularity, it's going to leverage me getting other jobs. Well, could not find another job. Could not find another job.
Everyone knows you.
And that's exactly right. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, when you walk into public, they expect this billionaire, like, to roll like a superstar because you are a superstar, but they don't know.
I'm not getting paid. I cannot find a job. And so, certainly not acting. So I literally could not find acting work. Every time I'd be on the short list for acting work, everyone would go, oh yeah, but he's Derek Nyati, so no, remove it. Yeah. And so I went, okay, well, clearly I need to go into presenting, and I was lucky enough to get All You Need Is Love.
Yes.
And at the time, it was a small little show that played on Saturday afternoon, just after sports. So it was one of the absolute lowest time slots in the week. And we took that time slot and turned it around. We were second only to News and Generations.
Yeah.
By the time we ended that. And again, I'm going, okay, well, this is great. And then channel goes, well, then too popular now. Can't be touched again. And you're going, wait, that doesn't make sense. So now I'm getting punished every time I succeed. And so I then stuck it into directing and went, okay, I'm going to have to disappear from the front of screen for a little while. Let me consolidate my directing. Did that for a couple of years and then came back to acting again. And the same thing happens. As soon as you become too popular, they shut you down, which was an incredibly limiting thing. It was like trying to succeed with a ball and chain on your ankle that keeps telling you you're not allowed to succeed because if you succeed too much, we're going to cut you off at the knees. And I believe that killed a lot of careers, actually. There are a lot of careers.
But that's why only a few have stayed here. That's why we having this conversation, because sometimes when there's that inherent passion in you that you can't give up because you've loved this from when you were born.
Correct.
You just had something to say. Let's say you were chosen to be a vessel of something. Maybe sometimes when we grow up, we have to attune, harmonize our energy so that we're now speaking from a right energy space. Some of us have to grow up, have kids, go through ups and downs. So we really have a true empathy,
Yeah.
At least I know for me, I needed to go through a lot of ups and downs, so I have an understanding and stuff. And beautiful place to be, though.
Man. I see there's someone here, Lishe Achisanang, saying, would I advise my kids to go into the same industry as I did? I don't know. I think the industry's changed a lot now. Yeah. There's things like merchandising that one is able to do. One is able to leverage a hell of a lot more. So I look back and I go, oh my goodness, if All You Need Is Love had happened today, where suddenly channels are much freer and just more forward thinking like that. And I had done All You Need Is Love and had gone into merchandising, for instance, I would have killed. I would have killed. We would have All You Need Is Love pajamas and pillows and teddy bears and pencils and it would have been crazy.
No.
But at the
So
time, you couldn't do that sort of thing. So the answer is yes, absolutely. The opportunities now are much, much more than before.
I think also what's important is that our kids, I think we both want our children to be happy, to be and to be true to what they're here to do. Is we grew up in a different line. We grew up in an era where we had to fight to do what we were doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When we told our parents, I want to act or I want to be a presenter, a musician, they were like, are you crazy? Get a normal job. Become a mechanic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a mechanic.
My mom used to say, she used to say, like, but when are you going to get a proper job? I'm like, proper job? Like, what is a proper job? Like,
my dad to this day,
I know,
still
bro.
says to me, hey, Hlomla, you know, you could have gotten a real career and been really, really successful. I'm like, excuse me? Listen, I'm at the top of my game. What are you talking about? To this day. And at first I thought he was saying it as a joke, but there was real pain there. That, you know, you've wasted your life. You've wasted your life. You went into, well, I can't say a job. I mean, yes, okay, you're doing this thing, but when are you getting a real job? When are you going to do a thing that pays the bills? That's honorable as a job, and where you just go, look, I give up. You know, this is who you are, and that's your understanding, and it is what it is.
It's crazy.
You know? But we can't define for our children who they choose to be. It's also true for if they end up if they do what they want to do and they don't get to make the kind of money I would have liked them to make, but they're happy, then I've succeeded as a parent, you know? Yeah. And that's the big lesson it's the lesson of saying it's not our life, it's their lives. And we need to give them, all we can do is facilitate for that to happen as smoothly, as generously as we can.
What's been the biggest lesson you've learned from being a parent? Because it really can open your eyes. Like for me, I'll just use myself as an example before I hand it over to you. I found all these issues coming up, like the sins of the father, for example. I do certain things and I'd be like, oh, that wasn't me. I'd have to go through those processes and still today feel like, oh, I feel like, oh my God, am I being the right parent? How can I be better? Like constantly, you know?
Constantly. I've become, I mean, it's a very similar lesson. I've become hyper aware of my father's voice coming out of my mouth or my mother's voice coming out of my mouth.
It dumps you, eh?
Huh?
It dumps you.
Oh man, you'll say something and go, oh no, that was my dad. My dad just spoke. That was not me. That was my mom speaking. That was not me. Yeah. And so I've become hyper aware of that. And also just how much, in fact, the big two lessons I've learned is one, I've become incredibly aware of how imperfect I am. Because kids start mirroring you. You want to learn about yourself, ask your kids to interpret you. And then you suddenly go, oh gosh, I didn't realize I had that as a habit. Oh goodness, I didn't know I had that as a hang-up. I didn't know that was my position in life. Oh, so kids are excellent mirrors for you. And that's where you're able to say, if you pay attention, you're able to realize how imperfect you are. So that's the first thing, the first big thing. And the second big thing I've had to learn is how to let go. Parenting is basically the process of letting go. Always has been. You're letting go from your stomach. You're letting go from your. You're letting go from your room, from your house, from your influence, from your money. You're just slowly letting go. As this person that you had covered and protected and loved is slowly standing up and taking charge of their own lives and
being their own person
as they should. But part of that requires you to let go. Otherwise what they become is an extension of you, and they're not an extension of you. They're their own person. And so sometimes they'll do things and you're going, oh, I really don't like that, but it's not my decision to make. I wish it was, but it isn't. So
As grown men, where do we take it from here? How do we become good fathers, good leaders, and good friends and partners?
yeah,
Now that you're
yeah,
at this stage of your life, I mean, obviously, all these challenges have come, and hopefully we learn and we fail forward. What's
yes,
the
yes.
perspective now? When you look at your career going forward, where do you see it? Is it more about enjoying the moment, or is there that goal that you're heading towards still? Uh, where you at?
Um, I'm actually at a crossroads. On the one hand, I'm starting to feel like, okay, my country, unless things change drastically in the industry, which I think they can, you know, I did a whole thesis on it. Pardon me, I did a whole business plan on it and things like that about how the industry can change and be really, really fruitful and profitable for everyone involved in it. Um, I'm starting to believe now that it's time for a gear change. I had a teacher who used to say to me, in life you have to have at least two careers,
Yeah.
two big careers. So start off as a personal trainer and then end up as a racing car driver. I think now is the time to leverage what I've gathered from the entertainment industry and start moving into another industry. And there are a couple of things that are really interesting me now, which when I look at them have at least another 40, 50 years worth of play available in them. I'm hugely interested in tech. I'm hugely interested in things like applications and hardware and in IT, in science. These things keep me enthralled like you cannot believe. And so, again, I feel like I'm now 16 years old getting into the the TV entertainment industry. I feel exactly the same way again in this industry where I'm learning and I'm excited and surrounding myself with people who know much more than me and going, I'm going to siphon off whatever information I can out of you, whatever knowledge I can learn. Um, teach me, and let me make my contribution there. Um, whilst I'm still in the entertainment industry as well. So one is learning to evolve and I suppose change as new avenues are being available to us.
One of my teachers was talking to me because I'm in the same place where I just want to assimilate. You,
Mm,
the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
correct.
And about surrounding yourself, you're the sum total of the people around you. Surrounding yourself with as much wisdom, humility, and awareness as possible. And
Correct.
a great mind I was just speaking to was talking about be present in the moment. Really be present where you are, whether you're a fit and turner, personal trainer, actor, be there completely.
Agreed.
Don't don't inhibit your goals or dreams though, because remember, you are from the source of God, which means anything is truly possible with the right application. If you're prepared to do the work.
Absolutely.
The difference
Absolutely.
is obviously be where you are and treat your current job as if you are in that place already, because that energy is going to overflow and you'll
On
be
place.
drawing the right things to you.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, so we've got a couple of minutes to go, and I think we could do this on and on. So I've got a suggestion for you while we're on lockdown.
Yes.
The whole aim for what I'm doing, as you know, there's no payment here. This is just passion project. Each day I'm talking to a different expert.
Yeah.
For example, today will be you, someone that's in the film industry. Tomorrow I'll be talking to Colin Nathan. We're talking about
Yes.
boxing. Wednesday I'll be
Yes.
talking to Bobby Malloy. Thursday music, I'll be talking to a writer and RJ Benjamin. So each day I'm partnering off with someone and trying to start something off so that we end up owning our own content. So eventually we're at a place where this will be its own brand. So
Absolutely.
if you're available, we can do this next week, same time, Monday.
Done.
And what we can do is, after we've unpacked the careers, we can start now focusing on actors, parts that we really looked up to, and start giving that kind of advice, because there's people that are coming up in the industry. Let's give back. Teachers are time to teach and share.
Absolutely.
So
I
if you're
would
down
be
with
more.
it,
I'm down with that severely. severely.
Okay, so what, guys that are watching, what can we call this? What can we call this show? It's Upfront with Caz, but what do we call it?
I don't
Real
know.
to real.
Performance analysis. I don't know. It's your show, so you need to run it. You need to come
Okay.
up with the name.
Okay, cool. We'll call this Real to Real. This is episode 1.
Nice.
Real
Nice.
to Real. So
Done.
next week, same time, same place, we'll go for part 2. What I'm going to do is I'll take this off, I'll edit it, I'll put it onto YouTube. It's going to look like an Instagram thing, but once we're in studios after lockdown, we can now move to studio and unpack and really start unpacking characters and A, B, C, D, and really see how far we can take this.
Very happy to do. Very happy.
Last words of wisdom. What would you like to tell anyone else that's starting in the industry? What have you got to say to them?
Man, if you're starting in the industry, make all the mistakes. Beginnings are the perfect time to make the mistakes. We live in an environment where we are so intolerant of failure, so intolerant of mistakes. Whereas the greatest lessons you will learn are when you mess up or when you fail. And if you're going to grow, then you have to fail. You have to push until you fail. So go out there, fail forward, make mistakes forward, but learn all the time.
Hlomla, it's first of all a pleasure to see you, my friend, once again. And I'm sure we can see this, that we've both grown up. Love to your family. Let's take this and let's just pour love into this. And hopefully we'll be on the screen together sometime soon. But for now, let's own this and let's make something out of this. Love to your family. I'll see you next week, Monday on Real to Real episode.
Real to Real, baby. I like
Peace
that.
out.
Peace out.
So guys, we'd like to thank you for joining us. If you've joined the show, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me here at Picasso. Follow me on my YouTube channel, Caz Abrams, One Up Productions. Follow me here, press follow. We're trying to grow the platform. I've been away for a long time. We're back Upfront with Caz every single day, and we're going to be owning our own content. But the most important thing is about empowering and sharing this knowledge. I will be bringing you exciting guests every day as often as possible. Stay tuned. Remember, don't leave without following. And God bless you all. Hope you've gotten something from today's show. We'll see you on Real to Real part 2 next week, Monday, 12:30. But I'll be sending up the adverts for that. God bless you. Goodbye.